Now, financial reporting is something that is a very specific area. It's not so widely used in organization because financial reports, profit and loss and balance sheets, this is what we are talking about when we say financial reporting. You may also say receivables and payables, but in these terms today, financial reporting is referring to the general ledger, to the pure finance. Less people in organization are going to use this functionality than, for example, sales module and information in that module. However, these are important people, and one of the reasons they are buying BI4 Dynamics is also to cover financial reports. And here, not just reports, because we'll not print out a PDF document to send by email. We are doing analysis, financial analysis. So that would be the right part. Now, what this session refers to is to the financial reporting in Business Central that is based on the standard functionality, which is called account schedules. So let's first see what we can do, and then I will go into how this is achieved. So I have here in my demo environment deployed and processed only the finance module from the database that you already have. And I'm going to use account schedule PL multi-company, and I'm putting it into the rows. And I'm going to create information from the GL from here on, and I will start with need change. And I have already seen need change revenue, COGS, operating cost, profit percentage, right? Looks like simple financial reporting. And this is just a start, because first thing that I'll bring here, it's a company. Oh, I have multiple companies, as you can see here, which is nice. So that's good. And I also can have the data by date, or if I do it like this, insert slicer, and I would use date here and just a date, and here I would bring in the periods on date, something like that. And because the first thing, there's little accounting, there is a one request for everything we do. We have to deal and set up the closed period and analyze only transactional transactions, which are not closing transactions. I've explained that's pure financial thing, and if I have now 2018 or anything, it's changing. After we have this, we would be able to, color, and let's just do it here and do it again here. So I'm using different top, bottom, minimum, maximum pattern from debit, credit values, which are profit, sales, and profit percentage. And I'll do the opposite scale for this. And I should not use the whole range, because if I take the whole range, then the values in the higher row will take all the glory and the others will not have. So I should do it row by row like this. And if I save, then I have the report. Then when I change it by the year, no data here, this gives me quite simple and fast input what's okay and what's not okay in business. Because I can see here a loss in April, a lot of COGS. Maybe we did some write-off of our aging inventory and we lost a lot. And otherwise in July, we didn't have any COGS. Maybe we have been just selling services a lot and we are very profitable. This is profit percentage. So you see now it's not a rocket science to read profit and loss statement like this. And it's not only that, this is the first part of functionality. So if I show this part as the first part, then the second part is I want to do comparison. Let's say I'm in the 2020 and I'm dropping the month period and I want to do the comparison. So I'll do the comparison by bringing the measure that we already covered in our training, which means I'll bring last variance percentage. So you can see here that calculations are, now I have to check because currently 22 million revenue, 16 million is last year, which is 2019, 16 million you can see here, and the variance is 6 million, it's the right one. Now this is here an error, it should show the opposite sign, a plus, it's 40%, 40 better, right? It's not a minus. But this one is showing the right way because it's a positive calculation. We had 8 million cost, 10 million here, minus 20% less, 2 million is 20%. And this also operating cost and so on. So just those measures which have opposite sign, I will explain later, have to be, fix the formula. In the profit, it's like as it is, percentage, doesn't really matter here. So this is what you would do, the comparison. Then when you have another situation, if I go back, so if I just drop all these measures here and I bring in the country. So company, because companies would have, in most cases, multiple companies. We have most 200 companies. One organization has 200 companies. And what if I'm comparing Dutch transactions to UK transaction? Is this okay? I mean, as you can see, the numbers are the same, or almost the same, because we copied the database and do just minor changes. But the point is that Dutch in local currency use euro, and in UK they use pound. And if we have local currency, I cannot do the comparison. So in that case, what will I do? I will use ACY. And in ACY, in my settings, I already took care about the settings. I'm not sure what exactly I used. So let us just check real quick what did I use. So euro is a local currency. I said it's US dollar. And in here, it's a US dollar. For both companies, I decided that US dollar is going to be additional currency. So suddenly 11 million became 17, and euro dollar exchange rate, and kind of sterling is more powerful in this demo data. So I got 34 million of US dollar. So this is something which I can compare in international business. Like, let's say in Dubai, they have a branch in Qatar, in Oman, in Saudi, in Kuwait. Each of these companies have different country currency which they cannot consolidate. So then in most cases, what customers would use as a common or additional currency, it would be a local currency. So businesses from, let's say, Germany, they would use euro. Businesses from United States, US dollar. Businesses from Canada, Canadian dollars. Businesses from United Emirates, they would use dirham, not dollar, dirham. That's the practice. The beauty of this is that we cover out of the box, and I explained yesterday or in the sales session, we have few hundred of this ACY measure, and this is extremely valuable because there is no effort needed, that the data are already there. So this is a good part, a very good part of financial reporting. Let's just continue. So if we want to see how this was doing before, or if at this time we want to do the comparison and have this information like here with the perhaps ACY measure on year to date ACY variance, for example. Okay, you can see it is there, and on it goes.
Can I ask a question regarding these currencies? On Monday, if I remember correctly, Karim said that they consolidate financials from different countries only at the financial statement level. But how is it possible, given that the exchange rate is not fixed over the period and it changes?
Then, one thing you may not know is in case of dirham and dollar, there is a fixed exchange rate of 3.66. So if in in Iraq, they are using US dollar, then it's enough just to write 3.66, and that will bring them dirham. But if they are doing it in another country where local currency is not patched to a dollar, like dirham it is to a dollar, then absolutely you are correct. There should be an exchange rate. And the list of exchange rate per day or per period where BF Dynamics would use it for calculation. Otherwise, it doesn't work, of course. Exchange rate and currency must be all coming from Dynamics. BC, F&O, it's there. It's there. Now, sometimes the exchange rate may not be the official commercial exchange rate, but because you just asked this question, it can be a currency which customer can have a special currency only for this calculation. So we had one of the biggest pharmaceutical customer, Johnson & Johnson, where this company is so strong in what they do and how they manage business, they give companies where they operate everywhere in the world, from organized world to failed states where exchange rates are very difficult to track. They give the exchange rate which they use for the reporting, corporate reporting, 1 year in advance. So regardless how much the dollar-euro relationship is, they will have, and they'll say for next year it's 1.2, that's it. That's what you report on. Okay. So in this case, they will enter reporting US dollar exchange rate or USD2 or whatever they would name it. In our solution, we would go, for example, they have many times here. So additional currency, dollar is usually commercial, but they would have US dollar, let's say corporate, which would be then used for the calculation in this ACY exercise. So this gives you pretty much a lot of flexibility. And because it's done on transaction level, it's huge. Now, going further with our work, what else can we do here is that let's just focus on one company, it doesn't really matter, one or more, that we can look into the information how the accounts, underlying accounts are. So let me just give you, let me just use UK. I'm more familiar with the UK data because if we go into the Dutch, there might be Dutch names, which I want to avoid. I don't speak Dutch. So what I mean is the following, right? The revenue, it's a interval of GL account, and I can, in BFO Dynamics, nest this and will tell me which GL accounts are there. So if I have this information by month here, you can see a lot of details if you would like to see which part of this business is doing well just in terms of sales by different accounts. Okay, this would be one exercise and show us all. If you would like to do within the same line of business, see it real quick. You can see here discounts, a lot of discounts here, good revenue here, fine July and on. So now we are going toward the structure of these account schedules or financial reports, how they are built. there are some GL accounts behind there, COGS, operating cost, financial cost. And when it comes to the formula, because profit is calculated sales minus cost, shortly, or percentage, it shows you all. So for the formula type, these are irrelevant. But let's look into another example. Let's just take another chart of account, another account schedule. So we are using, as explained before, Power BI, but now I'm going to use another one, which I think this one with the cost. It's more informative. Okay, so I just want to show you a situation where we have another scenario. So account schedule, we already see there is some business logic behind the definition, each and every line or row. And what we also see in many times are calculations. And these are calculations where I'm calculating some shares. So what am I doing? I have more detailed definition of costs. So you see maintenance cost, computer or IT cost, vehicle cost. And I do KPIs in my Navision or Business Central or in AX by creating a KPI building maintenance as a share of operating cost. We look into these details. So these are percentages. As you can see, I'm using percentages or millions in the same layout, which is great. And whenever I want, if I want to go into the details, if I want to go to first I go to the GL transaction and I want to bring in the details which GL account are behind the scene. And let's just go for let's just focus first more on, before I do this exercise, I'm filtering out, let's say, this operational cost, for example, just to have the same approach like accountants do. And I bring in GL account. You can see there are a few GL accounts behind the scene of each of these rows. And which also means that when I'm creating a profit and loss statement, I do not have to go to a GL account level, but I group different accounts into one meaningful category, and then I'm analyzing either at this row level or category level, and then if needed, I can nest, it's a dimension, I nest more information by the GL account. Okay. Now, what else we can go? So once we have this information, this is kind of very, very good for the accountant. They say, wow, cool, really good. And let's do one exercise and let's see if, okay, let's go for this exercise. What is the usual pattern of analysis that we would be doing it? So let's just remove the filter from the name, and let's just do one exercise because I know the demo data, and I'm just analyzing the vehicle cost. Okay, car, everything related to the car. High costs are bad, so I don't want to have a high cost. And I'm just looking a pattern where the data are coming. Just give me a second. This is not bad. Okay. Here we have a year where in October we have 300,000 cost. Usually the costs are much lower. So what we would do is, so it's 2020 and it is vehicle cost. So let's just go this exercise one step further. So I'm just focusing now on vehicle cost, and I'm just putting it to the perspective of showing the value. I see here it's October. Usually the costs are much less, 6,000. So obviously some maintenance came across. So I'm just going to do it like this. And what else I can do, like now before, we can see the document. So I'm in the GL transaction, which means I can use anything from the transactions. If I go on the GL document, I would bring in first, let's say a document type, but probably this is all invoice. So just skip it for now. And I bring in the number, maybe external document. If this is something telling me in the layout looks much better in a tabular form. And okay, and if this is not telling me enough, I can bring a vendor. It's a vendor here. It's built to customer, buy from vendor. If that will help me to know. Oh, this is country of my vendor. I want to have a vendor name. Country name, vendor name here. Voila. So now I should already have, I could bring also description, but by default in a document, I don't have a description, which I can bring with one click, just because if customer doesn't request this, we don't give it by default because text is not compressible that well, but it doesn't matter for smaller databases up to 100 gigabyte, that works fine. So we would be having, if I would have also, if I don't have enough information, probably some maintenance that was causing the costs of for this, probably 2 invoices or 2 cars have been serviced or I don't know what. But that's the point, that from the big picture, going back to the profit and loss statement, we would find out that operating costs in October are high. We would nest the GL accounts to see which GL accounts are there, like we did here. And we have more. And by applying colors here, let's just do it really quick, just to show how easy it is. You should never include the grand total. So that would be wrong because that's not the part of the analysis, which will not point you to the right way. And you can see October and which accounts are having, and then with few more filters on a document level, selecting the right attributes of a dimension document GL, we should know what was the cost related to. So top-bottom approach, very, very powerful. And the data are in memory, which means they are read from the memory. So even you have like gigabytes, terabytes of data, this should work pretty much fast. The performance depends on the memory cycles on a server. That is the performance depending on. One more thing, not something to miss. It's very important is how to use financial dimensions. So now we were using company, date, GL account, but in the settings of BFO Dynamics, remember we were setting global dimensions and we were mapping these global dimensions per company. You know this exercise, so let's use it now. Which are the dimensions? Let's just see area. Wow, nice, right? So actually, if I show you this part in this particular dimension, I'm just going to bring the dimension in a hierarchy. In a hierarchy, it's a hierarchy level 1. Some data RNA, don't worry about that. Next level, you see Europe, South, and then I can go next level. Can see here. So we can use hierarchies. This is available in the BC, not in FNO, but it's great. If I bring the measure like this, dimension like this, it will give me the last hierarchy. And this is where I can work on, and I can nest the name here, or nest another dimension below here. You know, oh, it's not that much used in my department here, maybe customer group. Or I can just filter the revenue, okay, and give it a cross analysis. So I'll put revenue in here. If I just analyze revenue, I can put it like this. It's nothing wrong if I put just big flag, I'm doing the revenue, because I'm bringing 3 dimensions like this. You will see many times users will be super happy with a layout like this. 1 dimension in columns or 2 dimensions in rows or any combination they would like to have, not to mention to bring company data and other information in here. So that's financial reporting. That's really good financial reporting and customers are super happy with this solution. Tomorrow we'll have 1 session for the customer, actually preparing the partner for it. And this is exactly what the focus of financial reporting is. Any questions so far? Now we will go and I will explain how to create these account schedules or financial statements in Business Central. Any questions so far?
No question, but I think you were doing very fast, so I think we'll have to watch the video again and redo these things once again at our side.
I agree.
But I understood what you were doing.
Yeah, I agree. You have to rehearse it 2 times, 3 times, and then you will figure out once you follow the same exercise. And again, all these data are in your demo database. That's why you have it created. You should have it. And you can repeat this just by these reports, which I will give you, by the way. I will give you this report. I will share this report with you so that you can, check deliverables from your end, the same as from my end. Now, see, there is more of this. So there is also, for example, a business unit. And in this demo data, or you could go, if you are analyzing sales, you can have analyze sales by customer country. Interesting, right? Yeah, but you can do it. You can do it because it's all interrelated. Because we are analyzing sales. We're not analyzing a vehicle cost. Vehicle cost by customer country would not make sense. But this would make a perfect sense if, they would like to do. Of course, we have this information also in the sales module, but having this information in the finance, it's kind of cool. Many times it can give you a good insight. And on it goes. That's why in the finance, these financial measures, financial dimensions are important. And when you have 2 or 3, you have a lot to analyze already and do the cross analysis with these combinations a lot. Now you have seen how to use. Now we are going to go into the area of Dynamics Consulting that you will find out how to create. Your job will not be to create, not on the first day of working with BFO Dynamics, but after, let's say, 3 months, I will require that you can consult customer how to do it. You should know it to do it very fast internally, but to memorize the process and to be sure you will have the resources in Business Central accessible where you will be able to exercise and be sure that you can also show the customer the concept, not the detailed profit and loss statement for the customer. That's financial consulting. So we will see a little, touch a little financial consulting just in terms how to create the report. Okay. First, I will start with the 2009 version, which is not used, but it's easy to understand, and then we'll do it also in the Business Central. So application area is account schedule, and what we will do is a new account schedule in UK, and we will say PL Corp, and we'll say PL Profit and Loss Corp reporting method. Okay. And that's just name, and when I enter, this is how that would be done in Dynamics. Then I would say, let's say S for sales. Then I will do C1 for COGS. Let's do C2 for operation cost, C3 for financial cost, then I will write profit. I will do the same exercise like before, and here I will do profit percentage. So I expect that every one of you is 100% clear what this category means. I'm not going to explain this. Now, I will explain how to map accounts in this Navision case into the categories that I defined here. So you can see here, the option here I have is a posting account, total account, formula, and so on. So we support these three, and we'll be going using the posting account. And in here, totaling, drill down opens, and this is a chart of account, GL account list, where in this case, I'm looking for revenue. I'm looking for revenue, and you see these are expenses. How do I know what it is, the revenue? If I work with a customer, I do not know. I ask them. Because I'm not, familiar with the chart of account in every country we work, in Mauritius, in, Dubai, in Canada, America, in Singapore. That's not possible. You just ask, what are your selling account? They will tell you these are the accounts. So actually I could do in terms of, income statement, I could actually say everything from 6 to 7. So I could do like 699 and interval 6999. I'm using Navision BC, same, and saying totaling of this interval will be my selling account. I can test this immediately. Oh, it's already giving me some values here. I click escape and I'm back in design. COGS, what are the COGS? Cost of retail. So somewhere from here to dots. So where do the COGS net? Let's say I will not use this manufacturing cost. So just for the sake of presentation, let's end it here, right? Let's check the data. I created a new lines here, fine. Operational cost. This is where we have the administration, vehicle, rent, salaries, and so on. In each and every business, there are different chart of accounts. So in case of your demo data and my demo data, this will be everything under A. We're doing really very high level. Financial costs, so let's just check this. Something coming? Yeah, it's coming. It's good. Let's just see the financial reports. Financial is something like interest and so on. Let's just create something. Even if we are missing, doesn't matter. Let's just take up to here. Okay. Seeing something added. Not much. Yes, something is coming. So that's why you have a good demo database with good demo data. And what is the profit? Now this will not be a posting account, but it will be a formula. And the formula will refer the row definition, which means I will have S plus 1, okay, C1 plus C2 plus C3. Now, you may say, why on earth I'm doing plus? Right? It's wrong, you will say. This will grow. No, it will not. Because if we go into the picture, the first one is showing the minus. So actually I'm showing minus this plus this. It gives me, you see, 4 million. And here it gives me minus because it's still, we are still profitable. So what I need to do now is that formula for the profit, which is P divided how come I cannot give the I'm using English, sorry. I'm using English keyboard here, so that is giving me an error. Otherwise it's this, backslash. by P, S is sales. And because I want to have, if I do this, something is wrong with the formula. Let's see, P divided by S. That should be fine. So what is saying my formula? The error occur line 60,000. It's not okay. Okay, I have these unique things here and just say PR. Okay, and just say PR. Just put PR, will give me the same here. This is good. Oh, divine. Yes, sorry. This could be the reason. Yes. And forward slash, not backslash. And I want this to be in percentages. So I'll just write multiply by 100. And I can like initially planned. So you can see this financial statement is very easy to create. Okay, I have a control over the design. What I don't like is that my credit postings by default are in minus mathematically or in accounting way. This is a credit. I would like to see that this is the worst period. That's the best one. So for that reason, every software has for the credit postings opposite sign. So these are the one that we just change the caption, formula and everything is the same. Profit is dividing to credit transaction measures, which I don't need to reverse. Now this is it. So this is creation of BFO Dynamics corporate profit and loss statement. So what I need to do now is to do the full process and see what will happen. I intentionally create demo database with finance only. I'm doing the full update. Even I have only the finance here. I don't have anything else, so that it will not take that much time. But end-to-end data transformation will be visible immediately. Now, this was the exercise in Navision 2009 or Business Central. I will just show you what you will have to know and what you will have to do this in the Business Central in our cloud version. Okay, so let's just first finish on this processing. I'm processing only the GL business area, which is just enough. And you know, it's already doing the stuff. So what happened is every account schedule comes with the name of a table because we create calculation groups. You don't need to know this part here at this time. So currently it is not there. The name is a PL Corp. So it should come somewhere here. So let's just refresh this. And before we look into, we'll copy this report into a new one so that the one that you may have error on, because you will not have this, but error will just skip this report. So it will be not a problem of this analysis. We can keep it, okay, this is a name, it's a revenue. So we will drop this current account schedule from the list. So the total is 0. And we look into the PL Corp. This is a calculation group. This is what we have. What do you think? Not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. You see? Everything that we have here. Because the problem of this otherwise super flexible reporting is that what customer can do here, they cannot change columns and rows. They can just define hard-coded what is this row layout, like periods, default, differences, comparison. Very, very limited. They can export to Excel, yes, but that's a static Excel. That's kind of a dead horse. It's nothing here. So would you analyze this, or would you rather use it as a pivot table with all the options that we have seen year-to-date, dates, details, formulas, document level, ACY, and global dimension, and everything else? You see what value we bring this? I can tell you that this is by far the most complex transformation that we in BFO Dynamics do, because it involves many-to-many transaction relationships. It involves calculation groups. I'll just give you one hint what I mean with this. Select R from BIM. There is a help table, account schedule. So let's say where name, okay, equals, or let's say like, schedule name, I think I have to write here. Okay. So we have to create totaling for totaling accounts, or DAX formula for DAX formula accounts, and many-to-many relations which you don't see, and deploy it in analysis services as a special part of deployment, build like account schedules. And Surab, you were asking what do we need this attribute. Surab was asking me in dimension form, what do we need this relationship? If I go to a customer and go in here, here edit attributes, there is a column relationship. It's only used in account schedules because a relationship in here, it's not a primary key, but it's the account schedule key. You don't need to know this. We will actually hide this relationship, but just to let you know, this is super, super difficult to do in Tabular. Tabular doesn't support custom rollup, which we do support. It's supported in multi-dimensional. So it was like half a year of development. Are we going to make it or not? But now, that's it. This concludes our training for this part, for this section. Okay, I understood. Because what I can tell you from our experience, believe me, that these financial reports, financial statements or account schedules, financial statements in AX are not implemented if partner doesn't have a financial consultant. If partners has a good technical developers and they are not financially, experienced, they just don't implement. And we have situations where this is not implemented and the customer comes with a request of 30 pages for financial reporting. Big customer, big retailer, listed company. And then we said, well, looking into your data, this will be covered by 2 financial statements. And they say, no, we have it by country, we have it by customer, by date, by that. Same. These are global dimensions, we'll define them. And you need to have one profit and loss with this detail, another with that detail. And then said how we'll do it. We said contact your Dynamics partner. We'll give you this example like initial training on a demo data, and then ask your partner to implement what we have just implemented in our case, these similar things. after you give them this, it's simple. They can do next 50 financial statements by themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
And I can just show you this part here. I'm using Tabular Editor. So what we automatically did, it's Corp. Okay, just to have the idea. Here is the formula, account schedule, pointing to the right account schedule formula. So these are the measures, how we do it. That's why each account schedule is its own table, actually calculation group table. And this was possible only in the 2009 version. This feature came in spring 2009 out. So it was not possible in 2016 SQL or previous. So it's very flexible. And you can see here these formulas have these formulas, and this is all automatical. And transformation I have shown you in here on a SQL level and that level and that level, and to work everything together, it's a lot. But then you really are super flexible. So that's a good part of the reporting. Now let me just give you the idea how this is done in Business Central. This is something that I will require for you to know, not today, to be able to show customers how to do. But now it's just an exercise. We'll have exercises later on this. Now it's just important that you are aware of this. This is there. So this is our Business Central for demo. You will all have access to this Business Central. It's not installed on a desktop. It's installed on the web. It's running through a browser. So I'm looking for account schedule. This is BC. So I have two options. I will use this list. So this is being recorded, so you will rehearse this. So I'm going into the list, and now I could go, let's say, into this and set process and say edit account schedule. Now what stupid thing it is, it says, do you want this to be copied? No, I don't want to be copied. I just want to go inside of my account schedule. So this is an example of bad design, because as you can see here, the income as a row definition has its own line definition by each and every account, which in BI for Dynamics case doesn't need to go that detail. And they are, having formula of this, and they are, this is better. Fee, expenses, remember interval, or you can put it and in between. So that's one example, row definition, description, formula, and opposite sign for all of the income statement rows and for the profit, right? We have seen this just in a different form. Let's say balance sheet. If no, process edit. That is profit and loss, balance sheet, any type of account you can do. Oh, this one is a little better. So cash accounts are interval, receivables are interval. This means add. This part, it's actually or includes all. You see, this is a better structure, because what we mostly come to situation, also if I show you what we are doing for one Estonian company, they have 120 rows. Why? Because they didn't use BI for Dynamics and they go to the account level. And you don't do the analysis on the 120 attributes. So this is the way how this is done in Business Central. This is, I will request you to know. And now I'm going into Dynamics AX. Just to give you an idea how AX are doing. And you would not believe one thing. This functionality is available in Dynamics AX, all versions, but has been removed in F&O. You know why? Mostly because the output can be screen or static Excel. Right, so now I will not be able to, no, it's good. I'll be able to show it. So this is a business AX. So we are going into general ledger, then it's in the setup, financial statement, row definition, and I have profit and loss statement, and it's a structure designer. It's different, but again, not a rocket science. Revenue. So revenue, I have levels here, so I can design here by level, and this level, what is the setup? It's group of main account with an interval of this main account, which means general ledger accounts. Interval. Intercompany sales, okay, here, and this is it, and the revenue is, somehow picking up this group together and shows you this on this level. COGS, like similar to what we did, operating, right? And then profit, here it's a type of calculation where I drag and drop, for example, into the formula. This gets ID4, and I can then include it into my formula. Remember, I was doing plus, 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 and opposite sign. This is doing minus, 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 and you don't need to add opposite sign. So I'm just doing pretty much the same here. The problem of this, the design is fine, is that when I print these reports or when I analyze, then the destinations that I have are pretty much, screen, printer, email, or maybe Excel, I don't know, but it's not a live dynamic reporting that we offer. So that is what we offer. So for AX, we grab this data and create the same reports. It is just told their financial statements. The other name, account schedule in Navision or Business Central, and financial statement in AX. So that is the functionality: financial statement, traditional financial statement, row definition, structure designer. Here it is. Another structure designer. These can have multiple levels, or doesn't really matter, because there are some specifics. You see, there are some specifics between the desktop version in Business Central, then on the web version Business Central, and this is financial statement. Pretty much they do the same. Okay, so I think now this would conclude our training for today. This is what I covered. Permissions we will not be able to do. It is a separate subject. It takes more time. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I actually have one question. Sorry. When you wrote the, you remember the accounts where you type the number, then 2 dots, and the second number, defining the range for calculating some statements. Where did you get these numbers from?
These are the, in here, this is when I said I'm going to general ledger list, chart of accounts. So these are the chart of account codes or numbers of accounts. The same in AX. The same in AX, when I have a row definition and I define in the structure designer interval, when I'm doing it, it's always playing with, you see this here are GL accounts from these 2 dots to the others. So in financial reporting that I'm showing you, the source is general ledger. The source is not payables, it's not receivables, it's not bank account. The source are general ledger transactions in both cases. So the code primary building block is a general account, general ledger account. This is what goes into the formulas, base formulas by row definition.
So are we as consultants then doing these account schedules, or are the clients doing them themselves?
You should be able to demonstrate and to create on their own something like I did here. deploy and process, 5-line account schedule. That's enough. That's enough, nothing else. So this, with the combination of data, which customer will have with global dimension, this will give them a lot to play and understand how valuable this functionality is. So then they will go and create their own account schedules. And if they will need the help, you just say, ask your Dynamics partner to help you. That's not our job. Our job is to discover this functionality to the customer and show the value, and implementation of this is a pure financial exercise, pure accounting part. We do not discuss how to do, they know to do it. After you show them 5 lines, that's enough. You will be able to do 5 lines in Business Central, and that will be enough. So if they would say, yeah, but can you train us? You already experienced? No, because if you train them, in this case, they will ask you for the support and you take responsibility. We just say, we show the functionality, how it works on a base one, and that's it. If customer would not have this, what happened on one presentation 3 weeks ago? American company, big one, already doing, 9-figure every year. And Navision user, they didn't have this functionality. And I said, okay, since we are having a subject also financial reporting, I said, and you don't have account schedule. And I said, would it be okay if we start creating one account schedule right now at the beginning of the workshop? And the deployment process takes 30 minutes. So at second half of the workshop, we will be already able to consume this account schedule and do reporting based on that. And customer said yes. And in a good half hour, this was done. So I was telling the guy on the other side what to do. We did exactly this, maybe with 4 lines and profit percentage, something like that. So that I understood, they entered this. And I just processed. Meanwhile, this was processing. We were doing like other areas, and after that, it was there. And it was funny, on the next session over the weekend, they already had 3 account schedules. Really. But before that, they have been using Dynamics more than 10 years, and they didn't use account schedule. And it's a standard functionality, not related to any cost or keys or anything else. It's there, just it was empty. And they found out after so many years the benefit of this. And we did it on the workshop session. It was funny.